Hey guys, crack open a drink because we are back with another episode of the Blue Podcast with me, Mackers and Tom. How you doing, mate?
Doing good today, thank you, mate. How are you?
I'm pretty good. This is a bit different to what we've been doing for a while. Just the two of us.
Yeah, no guest on today. It's a refreshing change of pace, isn't it? And I think before we kick anything off, we're obviously not going to do the multiple choice questions today because there's no third person. It just makes sense not to. But actually, I've not told you this story yet, so I'm going to tell you on here, and you can react at the same time as everyone else.
Bloody hell.
So I woke up this morning and found a rat in my kitchen, a dead rat.
Is that why there's a rat on the notes?
Yeah, I've put a rat story on the notes so we can kick things off with that.
Oh, wow.
Honestly, that was one of the weirdest experiences ever. I don't know, like, you always hear about rats in houses and stuff, but you never actually see them, I don't think. So I venture into the kitchen this morning, lights off because I was still half asleep and just wanted to get a glass of water, get some Weetabix and get back into bed. And I saw a little figure in the darkness, like, nearly put my foot down. Put my foot back, turn the lights on, there's a dead rat in the kitchen.
Oh, no, not a fan.
How it gets worse, okay? So stick it on the group chat. What are we going to do about this, guys? Right, contact the landlord if possible and try and get them to sort it out. But the landlord's not available on a Sunday, only Monday to Friday. So my housemate Paige comes downstairs and we work out that we're just going to have to get rid of the thing. So plastic gloves on. I pick it up, which was absolutely disgusting, by the way.
Imagine,
Pick it up, stick it into a bin liner, and then inside of another bin liner, straight outside in the trash.
Good. Trash, are you American?
Rubbish. Straight outside the rubbish. Trash. God.
You can't believe you just said trash. You've been watching too much TV, mate.
Clearly I have too much spare time on my hands. But anyway, what a way to get the heart racing in the morning and finding a dead rat in your kitchen.
Yeah, I mean, I actually did. I remember when I was clearing out one of my uni houses I think it was in my third year. We found a dead mouse covered in maggots underneath one of the bins.
That is disgusting.
I was gagging the whole time. It was horrendous.
It's just one of those things where you rarely ever actually see them.
Yeah,
you might see them scurry across. But you never actually like see it up. Oh, it was rancid. Yeah. It's so furry, and obviously it's furry, but it was almost like touching it. It was like it was a dog. Like
because it's an animal.
Yeah, I know, but
it's a mammal.
Yeah, but still a rodent. It's just disgusting, isn't it?
Well, it's not its fault that it's disgusting, technically.
No, this is true. We'll let it off then.
Yeah, we'll let it off. Yeah.
Well, anyway, what's the topic of today's episode, Matt?
Today's episode is unpopular topics that we're going to discuss. Or, I mean, just topics that we want to discuss, really.
Yeah, topics that you and a group of mates around the pub might discuss after one too many drinks. And they're only unpopular because it's not like, we're not talking about Greta Thunberg and Andrew Tate.
Yes. Yeah.
Popular topics at the time. So,
yes.
I want to kick things off because I've had this debate with somebody I've had this debate with a couple of people at work, actually, who say that after a hangover, they go to McDonald's, right?
Yes.
I would say absolutely I go to McDonald's, but I would go for McDonald's breakfast.
Yes.
They go for McDonald's lunch. So here it is.
No.
Would you rather have McDonald's breakfast or McDonald's lunch?
McDonald's breakfast, got to get the hash browns.
That's what I'm saying.
You've got to get the hash brown.
The best item on the menu.
If you're hungover and you're going to McDonald's in the morning, you go to get a hash brown.
Of course.
And maybe an egg and sausage McMuffin or whatever.
Double sausage and egg McMuffin.
Yeah. That's it.
Yeah, I don't see how it's 11 o'clock. I know it closes at 10:30, 11, but I don't see how at 10:30, 11 o'clock in the morning you're putting back a wrap of the day and a save menu cheeseburger. I just couldn't do it.
No.
It's got to be a hash brown. There's got to be some egg involved.
Yes.
Double sausage and egg
It's all about the gains, mate. It's all about the gains.
Well, but you might be. I just like the flavour of it. It's just better.
No, I do agree. I'm a breakfast, if you're hungover, breakfast McDonald's. I try to stay away from it personally, but yeah, mate, hash browns has to be.
But the hash browns are just the best item on the menu.
It's the best bit about McDonald's.
Yeah. Thank you. So you agree with me. I'm taking that back to work and I'm saying that it's more than just me that's right about this.
100%. It is. It's definitely. It's definitely the best one. I've thought of this one. This might be a bit more popular, but I had a lot of troubles lately in terms of getting to the podcast. We've had a guest late because of public transport. I was late because of public transport. What is your least favourite form of public transport? Because there's some horrendous ones, and sometimes they're great. Sometimes they can double your time to your destination.
Do you know what? It's weird though, because I actually don't mind public transport at all. I know
Really?
a lot of people like driving, but I like the idea of being able to just sit there and listen to music and go on my phone and stuff whilst I'm getting to my destination. I also think that when I was a kid, my mum used to drive me around in the car to get me to fall asleep. So it's quite relaxing going on public transport. Like, you feel the vibration under you and you start to get a little bit sleepy. I quite like that.
That's
so as a least favourite form, I mean, the tubes in London are pretty unreliable.
Yeah.
But when you're actually on it,
it's
very
fine,
loud, but I actually don't mind it at all.
Yeah, no, I'd say the tubes, when they're not working, it can cause a lot of issues. Because also the traffic in London's horrendous. And then I just would say tube because of the experience I had last weekend.
Sure, yeah, where you were late to the...
Luckily, it was the Big John one. Luckily, I left considerably early. Otherwise, I would not have made it just in time to record the podcast.
Okay. Yeah. Well, I mean, tubes, they're just what they are, aren't they?
Exactly.
Everyone has trouble with the tubes. But anyway, I'm going to kick things off here with another one that I've debated with people a lot about, because especially my friends at uni, and I know Momo, who you know very well as well. He
very famous person on the channel.
Very famous person on the channel. He will not go to the cinema if it's before 6, 7 o'clock in the evening. Now,
why?
Okay, so here's the thing. Would you rather go to the cinema at night or the cinema in the morning? And I'm going to tell you why I prefer to go to the cinema in the morning.
In the morning?
So, as you're well aware, I'm a massive MCU fan and a massive film nerd in general. And for me, if you can't go see a film the night before, for instance, and it's a film you really want to see, like, for instance, what's a good example to use? When Black Panther Wakanda Forever came out, right? That film came out and I couldn't go to see it in the evening. So the first thing I did the next day was go and watch that film. Because I just could not wait to go and watch it.
Yeah, no, I get that. I do get that. But I've definitely been to the movies during the day and stuff like that. I wouldn't quite say like I've got to strictly be after 6 or 7 o'clock. But at the same time, I do like a evening movie because you do kind of just sit there. You're there for an hour, 2 hours, Avatar 3 hours. And yeah, I do like an evening movie personally. And the only reason I'd go see it in the morning is because of, because you're doing it because you want to see it with no spoilers.
But that's the thing. I think that most of the films I go to watch just because I'm really invested in them. I don't like. It's so expensive going to a film in London. You know the Odeon near to me is £20 a ticket. It's extortionate. In Swansea,
it's
£4.99 for some films.
£5.
Right, so in Swansea it's easy just to go to any film.
Yeah.
Here I pick and choose very precisely. And the films I do go to, I really want to go to.
Do you know what's a really, really bad opinion of mine? Well, not opinion. Thing I haven't done yet.
Go on.
Still haven't seen Black Panther 2.
You're disgraceful, mate, because we're about to record a gradient show after this, and you ought to be ashamed of yourself.
I've read the synopsis just in case.
Oh, that's the same thing, isn't it?
Well, no, I watched, because it's not out on Disney Plus yet. I watched it on a dodgy stream about 20 minutes in, and then I couldn't do any more.
I'm glad you didn't watch any further, because it's coming out in a few days.
Yeah, I'll watch it fully in a few days. When the gradient show's out, I'll have watched it.
This is true, actually. When this is out,
yeah, exactly. I'll watch it. It's fine.
But while we're on the route of cinemas, I've got a very, very topical question.
Okay.
Which film is better, Avengers Infinity War or Avengers Endgame?
In terms of emotions and feelings I got from the movie, Endgame. In terms of an actual movie, Infinity War. Is that a good enough answer?
See, I would agree with that, but I'd expand on it. So Infinity War is obviously the better film. There's more action. There's more happening. It's probably a better plot.
Yes.
But for Endgame, I waited from the second that I left the cinema after Infinity War, I could not stop thinking about what was going to happen in Avengers 4, because obviously we didn't know it was called Endgame. I couldn't stop thinking about what was going to happen in that film. So when I went to a midnight showing with two of my best mates to Avengers Endgame, the sheer ecstasy that I felt by just watching the film start to play was unparalleled. And that is why, for me, although I'd say Infinity War is probably a better film, Endgame for me will always be the best film.
Yeah, it's more about the emotions you feel from that movie. It was 21 movies before it. Like, if you think about how many hours of our time we put into watching the MCU
And rewatching the MCU, yeah, absolutely.
And then that's the climax.
To see it all culminate was just special, yeah.
Yeah, it was the Avengers Assemble moment, like, just forever etched in my head. And, like, whenever I see it on Instagram, it's like, damn. I will say, though, the only other moment that's made me feel close to that, but not quite, was Spider-Man No Way Home, isn't it? Third one? When there's Tobey Maguire, Andrew Garfield, and Tom Holland, when they all land, and then that's that music. Oh.
That was pretty special, yeah. That was pretty special.
And there was that, I remember on TikTok, there was this music that would go with it. I can't remember what it was. But there was a music that would go with it, and every time I like, it just come up, and I'm like, damn. The feels. But no, yeah. We spot on. Emotions Endgame, better actual movie if you're taking it from a movie standpoint. Then
for sure, yeah.
I do want to touch on this one as well. I know you put you put this one down, but as an ex-manager of Chelsea, I do want to speak about him. Mourinho's United versus Mourinho's Spurs.
See, this is an interesting one because obviously he wasn't massively successful at either club. But I think this actually could boil down to more what he got out of Jesse Lingard versus what he got out of Dele Alli.
Interesting.
Because those are obviously two players that started off very well and fell off, and were both obviously in the England team for the World Cup in 2018, but obviously now aren't doing so well. And I think he got a lot more out of Jesse Lingard than he did out of Dele Alli. We've seen
I think he got a lot more out of Manchester United in general.
Well, of course. I mean, he got second in the league with Phil Jones and Chris Smalling.
Yeah.
But then he also did relatively well with Spurs as well.
He didn't do
that
badly.
was not a good Spurs team at the time.
But I would say I would lean towards United.
Yeah, I'd go for United.
Yeah. And the thing is, though, he only got that United job because, the reason he always leaves a bad taste in my mouth is not only did he manage United, not only did he manage Spurs, but the way he left was to get the United job. He wanted to leave early because he knew if he was still in the job by the end of the season, he wouldn't be able to get the United job.
You think that's the reason?
It's 100% the reason.
I don't know about that one, mate.
It's 100% the reason why he wanted to get fired earlier. He wanted that United job before he came to Chelsea the first time. He's always wanted the United job. Everyone's known he's always wanted the United job. Even back in 2004, he wanted the United job. But Fergie was there.
Someone that wanted the job his entire career, he didn't do a very good job of when he actually had it, or rather alienating half the playing staff.
He turned into he just did a very Mourinho thing, and United couldn't take it.
Well, yeah, this is also true.
And similar thing happened at Spurs. So, what's the final conclusion?
Well, I think
Mourinho's United
Gurney did a lot better at Man United than he did at Spurs.
Yeah,
it was very exciting to see him at Spurs, especially because they had the Amazon documentary.
Yeah,
you could see behind the scenes, and obviously that Dele Alli moment's replayed over and over again. Now he's at Besiktas. But
he got booed off at Besiktas.
Saw that,
he got brought on for 30 minutes and then taken off.
They want to send him back to Everton, don't they?
Yeah,
they don't want him.
Nope. They just sacked Lampard. So, they want. Did you hear about
Sean
the Bielsa?
Dyche, I thought
they sacked Lampard.
Yeah, but I'm pretty sure they want Sean Dyche.
Yeah, but did you hear about their meeting with Bielsa?
I heard rough bits and bobs on Twitter. I don't know how much it was believable.
So I read an article on it, and so they had that meeting with Bielsa. Bielsa wanted to find out first if the players would be able to adapt to his system and work with his system. So he wanted to take over the under-21's job or under-23's job. I don't know which one it was. But he wanted to take over one of those. And, so that he could then see the first team. And then come the summer, he can then take over and have a plan. Obviously, Everton don't want that because they need to get out of the relegation zone.
Yeah.
So they went...
What? I heard he flew over to England to actually have a conversation.
From South America.
I can't think of anything more Marcelo Bielsa than flying all the way to reject a job in person. That's so Marcelo Bielsa.
Well, I think they both just rejected each other really, because Everton needed someone straight away, and Bielsa was like, "Well, I'd much rather come in the summer, but still be here."
Yeah, I mean, you can talk about that for all day. Marcelo Bielsa is certainly a character, isn't he?
Yes, he is.
Certainly a character. Very interesting soon. But while we're on the topic of football, this debate I have a lot with some of my mates from back home, and it's prime Salah or prime Hazard.
Prime Hazard, bro.
I'm glad you said that very quickly, but I'm going to play devil's advocate a bit because I do agree with you, prime Hazard. But Salah has the stats on Hazard, like his stats blow Hazard's out of the water. Like Salah's been
goals-wise,
on paper more consistent in the Prem for a longer period.
No, he hasn't.
Yes, he has.
7 years.
Hazard wasn't consistently at the top for 7 years.
Or maybe 1 or 2 seasons. So I'd say 5 years at the top.
That's exactly what Salah's done.
Yeah. So he doesn't blow him out the park.
Well, he does in terms of the goal scoring record.
Goal scoring, yeah, but he does not in terms of being in the Premier League and the best player in the Premier League for 7 years.
But I don't think Hazard was always the best player in the Premier League.
Maybe he had De Bruyne at points. Obviously, was better. Aguero had seasons, but in terms of Hazard was the only player in the top 3 in the world in the Premier League for how long?
I don't know. I agree with you. Hazard is far better technically than Salah. Sometimes when I watch
No,
Salah
but
play,
it's not even that. I'd say it's look at the Liverpool team. Look at the team that Hazard carried to Europa League final. Look at the team that Hazard carried to three Premier League wins. Like, there's a different level to Salah and Hazard. Not, I wouldn't say level, but in terms of how they played, we know before Salah's been selfish, but in the past, there's one thing Hazard didn't do enough was shoot and score. But then he'd still like the remember the goal against Liverpool. I think it was either the season he left or the season before he left, where he nutmegs someone in a pass, then gets the ball back in a 1-2, nutmegs someone, runs to the box, body someone, smashes it top bins.
I think that was Arsenal that he played against.
No, it was against Liverpool. Trust me.
Was it Liverpool?
Yeah.
Okay.
The Arsenal one you're talking about, but yeah, I mean, to be fair, if you look at Hazard as well, Hazard's goal highlights are phenomenal. Like,
you can't say you can't.
No. Salah's goal highlights are good, but I mean, has Salah picked up the ball just in his own half against Arsenal, bodied Coquelin, ran into the box, beaten 3 men, and put it past Czech?
To put it into perspective, I know what you're saying, but Hazard has 85 goals in the Prem. Salah has 121.
Yeah,
and Hazard was in the Prem for longer than Salah is right now.
Yeah.
So I agree that Hazard is a better footballer. Sometimes I watch Salah and I don't know how he scores the amount of goals he does.
Because of the team he has around him.
But he didn't. When he first joined Liverpool, he did not have that team around him. He had Mane fresh out of Southampton, Firmino straight out of Hoffenheim, and he had a midfield of Henderson, Milner, and somebody else. But it wasn't Fabinho, Thiago. They didn't have Van Dijk. They didn't have Alisson. They didn't have Trent as he was playing. At the start, no. So it wasn't always that team around him.
How many Premier Leagues has he won as well?
I don't think that matters that much.
Yeah, it does.
Two,
yeah.
And he's won 1 and a Champions League. Hazard's not won the Champions League.
No, but he's won more FA Cups, more League Cups.
Oh right, we're talking about
Europa League, and but it's not Salah that's carried them to those wins.
Sometimes it is.
I wouldn't say. I'd say Hazard carried that Chelsea team more than Salah carries his Liverpool team.
Okay, yeah, I'd agree with that. I agree anyway. Prime Hazard is a better footballer than Prime Salah, in my opinion. But,
yes.
Anyway, we'll go for next question.
Yeah.
And it is, which one's better, Labour or Conservative?
I can't be arsed, man.
We had you going for a second. We had you going. You thinking, oh my God.
That would have been so dull. That would have been so dull. No. The next question is, pub or club?
Pub. You don't even need to think about that one. It's pub every time. And I'm not a fan of clubbing at all. Like, I will go clubbing if it's my mate's birthday or if
Yeah.
it's some special occasion where you can have a great time. But I think there's nothing better than being sat around the pub with your mates. Maybe there's a pool like a pool table you can play on, or maybe a darts board, and you just sat around chatting absolute rubbish as we are now, and that for me is the best night you can have. But I will also say for clubbing, if you're a single bloke going clubbing,
Oh, yeah.
the expectation for you to pull is so high that you can have an amazing night, but you'll still feel that sense of, oh, I didn't pull, like I've wasted a night out. Like going clubbing for me is so boring, and so boring if you're not in the mood for it. Like if the music's going and you're not absolutely smashed and you're not in like a happy place to go out and just get battered, then you can get into a club and all you want to do is go home at that point.
That's why I always get too drunk, for sure, when I'm going clubbing. Like, because I just go like, I know I'm only gonna have a good time if I'm pissed.
Yeah.
So it's like, I haven't had, my last 2 clubbing experiences have been, I'll say, interesting.
Do you want to elaborate?
Not particularly. New Year's and then my mate's birthday. I remember, well, I just got too drunk both times, and then I woke up the next day going, I just didn't enjoy that because I wasn't myself. So pub for me, I mean, I just much prefer going for a pint. Like, it's just more enjoyable. A house party I don't mind, because that's very controlled in terms of you're with everyone that you know, pretty much. Well, not everyone, but
I think a house party as well, if you know the people there, it's similar to the pub. You're
Yeah.
just with your mates.
Yeah,
having a
exactly,
time. It's
yeah.
just a slightly different vibe,
Yeah.
slightly different environment.
yeah, it's like an in between.
Yeah.
But you wouldn't want to do that all the time. Whereas pub, you can just do all the time, and I mean, it's basically what we do for the podcast.
Pretty much, yeah, exactly. And I know that my mates that are watching who know me very well, have known that like there's been times where we've gone to the pub and it's like a bit of a reunion, everyone's chatting again, and then someone will suggest going to a club, and more often than not, it's Rock City in Nottingham, which is just an absolute nightmare if you're not in the mood for it. And I've gone and I'm just like, I just want to go home now.
Yeah.
Like, I've done that before where I've literally just left because I'd far rather just maybe I'm not getting too old. This is the thing.
No,
older.
you're 2 years. Well, almost 3 soon. Actually, no, a day before
There's
you.
a day
before, yeah, that's
but the point is,
Yeah.
I'll go in sometimes and I'll look around and obviously there's 17-year-olds in there with fake IDs.
Oh no, I hate that. That was my biggest fear in my final year of uni. Being 21 and going into a club, like single, like this was my first year of uni single, and like my biggest fear was if I got with a girl, that they could be like 17. Like that was my biggest fear. Because think about the age gap there.
So what is your biggest fear of clubbing? Going into a club and getting with a 17-year-old?
No, losing control. That's my biggest fear. And it's something that I have been doing. So the last 2 times I've been to the club, I've lost control. Both times. Because of too much alcohol. And I don't like that. So that's why I'm chilling out for a bit for the clubbing scene. And also, to be fair, even the time before that when I was in Swansea, blacked out.
So what is the worst gift that you've ever gotten?
I don't know. I know I put this in there.
Yeah.
Because it's an interesting question. Worst gifts. I mean, you've always. The thing is, I like getting socks now.
I like getting socks.
Yeah, it's so because I don't want to have to go out and buy more socks.
Yeah.
Personally, and like I got a pair of Chelsea ones for Christmas. I mean, I wear them to the gym. You know, show off Chelsea with my Converses. Aftershave again, useful. Ooh, oh my god, I'm 23 in April. I'm really being an old man saying like socks and shampoo.
I tell you what is a classic bad gift, and obviously it's not anything bad on the part of the person giving the gift, but it's just a standard gift that no one really wants. One of those like little boxes of aftershave, like a Lynx Africa set.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? The little sets where you get a bit of shower gel in there, you get a tiny bottle of spray, and you know you're going to smell like every single other guy that's got exactly the same set.
Yeah, no, yeah.
You just don't want those.
No, you don't. And I'm trying to think of a bad gift. Like, Worst gift on my birthday. There we go. I've got it. I wasn't supposed to do a dirty pint on our joint birthday.
Why?
Because I'd already done one earlier.
Okay.
And then, like, Joe, this was like, he was like, oh, happy birthday. I was like, what? And because obviously,
Joe Elliott?
Yeah.
Love that guy.
Because obviously Reese's birthday is the day before mine.
Yeah.
And so we put, and yours is the day after. So we put the house party on my birthday. I mean, what a house party, by the way. Threw a good little party there.
I don't remember very much after 12 o'clock, I'll be honest.
Yeah, I mean, I do remember you trying to put some horrendous music on, but that was about it.
Hey, we'll get on to mine. My music is very good.
I remember you put the music. I let you put the music. Like, you put the music on. It was fine.
I think I got like 3 songs out of you. You literally.
No, yeah, because I had
put,
people
like,
coming
3
up to me going, "Can you change the music?"
Genuinely.
Yes. That's why I changed it. And you were like, oh, why are you changing it? I was like, people are telling me to change the music.
Oh, my music is... for clarification, my music is just like a boogie with a hoodie, little TJ, but apparently no one likes that.
No, people do. It's just not for when you're, like, smashed. Like...
When I'm smashed, I want to sing along to...
Yeah, but no one else knows the words. You are the most... Like, your music taste is so different to how you look.
Yeah, I've got that before as well.
Yeah.
Supposedly, I should listen to indie music.
You should, yeah.
Yeah, but I just can't stand it.
And kind of on the topic of music, how important is music to your mood? So, for example, can music kind of heal you in a moment, or just stuff like that?
Okay, I've got a good story about this actually. So, music is obviously a massive dictator of mood. So I remember one time when I was, I just like broken up. Well, this girl had just broken up with me, and I was coming back on the train, and I was very upset. Like, I was crying a bit, and I was listening to a couple of, I know we're gonna mention it again, but a Boogie with the Hoodie songs, but like some of those really sad songs, like DTB. I've played that song for you before.
I've played it,
yeah. And I was listening to that on the way back, and it just like it was such a release because. You know how people always say that stereotypical thing where it's like, oh, music speaks to you?
Yeah.
I've never had that before, but in that one moment, I was listening to that song, and I was like, do you know what? This actually resonates with me. And I was able to have almost like a cathartic release of being like, okay, it's not just me. Because I was really sad in that moment. So being able to experience that and listen to it at the same time was such a release, and I think that helped out a lot.
Brilliant. That's spot on. I think I do agree with music. So important to mood, to happiness, and recovery as well. In terms of if you are sad, I remember with a recent, not breakup, which we went together, but recent ending of a relationship. I was just sat in bed listening to my slow playlist, and it just kind of. I remember I was just sitting there listening to it, kind of headphones on, just in my own headspace. And then kind of the songs, maybe 10 songs through, like half an hour, 45 minutes, took the headphones off, texted my mate and played some games with him. I felt much better. So I'd say music's so important.
Oh, big time.
For everything.
Yeah. I'd say on a happier note too.
Yeah.
We
have all just done sad
went
stuff.
really sad quite there.
Yes.
But on a happier note, music can really, like, you know, when you're walking down the street, if you've got like DMX's X gonna give it to you in your ears, right? You're walking down the street, you think you're the absolute man. You're walking along.
You can swear on this podcast. He thinks he's the shit.
Pretty much. Yeah. But at the same time, like, you could be listening to like Dolly Parton 9 to 5 and all of a sudden your perspective changes, like you're walking around maybe a little like wary of other people. So I think music is a massive dictator. I will also add that I don't think my day-to-day would just be anywhere near as enjoyable if it wasn't music.
Mate, for me it's podcast and music in terms of like walking to and from places, podcast or music depending on what I'm feeling. Generally podcast at the gym when the pre-workout hits. You got some like I listen to a lot of EDM, so just some disgusting EDM playing through your headphones way too loud, and you hear the deadlift and you're just feeling amazing. It's so good. It really does kind of pump you up, lift you up in a lot of good ways.
I know what you mean about the gym, because I have a different opinion to this, but my housemate goes to the gym very regularly, and I've heard what he listens to at the gym, and it's like a bunch of Norwegian dudes just shouting, like shouting and screaming at him. But when I go to the gym, I'll just listen to music I like listening to.
Yeah, no,
I'll have like maybe Juice WRLD playing in my ears or something. It's just like, okay, this isn't exactly perfect, but
yeah. Well, I cycle through different playlists. So if I'm not going heavy, I'll do like EDM. If it's just like a slightly lighter one, chiller one, I play like old bangers like Calvin Harris, a bit of Avicii, just kind of.
You like that type of music.
Obviously, yeah, I do. So I sometimes listen to that. Sometimes if I'm feeling it, just heavy London rap, just a bit of drill here and there, and then just with my gym playlists completely vary. I do remember watching TikTok, and this very buff guy kind of went, "Oh, listen to my gym playlist." So I listened to it. I was just like, "How the do you gym with this in your head?" I'd be too busy like checking if anyone else can hear the noise that is coming from these headphones, because it's ridiculous. It's just pure like just demon time kind of music.
So here's one, because I'm a massive coffee drinker. Why do you not like coffee?
That's a good question, actually. I just don't like the taste. Genuinely, I'm not a massive caffeine guy, so I'll only have it if I have to.
Don't you have pre-workout?
That's because I have to.
Okay.
Well, because it helps. It does help. And because I don't have any other caffeine... Oh, the thing for me as well, if you take pre-workout, you go to the gym. Like, you don't sit around. Like, it's a tool to... I was listening to a really good podcast about a guy who's a bodybuilder, and he said, like, actually, his tool to go to the gym every day is he'll just have a pre-workout. And that means he's like, okay, I have to go to the gym now. Because obviously, if you just sit down having a pre-workout, you're probably going like that. So that's pretty much the only caffeine I'll have in a week. Maybe like yesterday, because I had about 6 hours sleep, maybe, like good sleep. I had a Red Bull on the way to the podcast, just because I needed to wake up. But for example, today, nothing. Absolutely nothing. I've still got the energy though.
It's strange, because I can't function without...
A lot of people can't.
2 coffees a day, but I'm fully hooked on it now.
Yeah,
like,
everyone.
Not hooked as in like, oh my god, I need to inject caffeine if I can't have a coffee. Like, I'll go to work and I'll get a headache around 1 o'clock if I've not had a cup of coffee.
Really? Well, that's because you're addicted.
Well, yeah, absolutely. Like, it's bad. But I've spoken to a couple of people at work about it as well, and they're exactly the same.
Everyone knows. I'm very much a rarity. Like, me and my sister are probably the only 2 people in a like kilometre radius of ourselves that don't drink coffee.
Yeah, but it just tastes good as well, though.
It doesn't. It does not appeal to me at all.
Here's a theory, though. I wonder if coffee doesn't actually taste good, because everyone has coffee for the first time and it tastes disgusting.
Yeah.
So I wonder if it's just the association, the good feeling from the caffeine that makes the coffee taste good in your mind.
I used to have quite an addictive personality, and kind of there's some things that I do which some people would see as addictive, but then I can just stop it sometimes for months on end, and then do it again because I just enjoy doing something, and then I'll be like, oh, okay, stop. So I think that's with the coffee, is I've tried it, just never had the kick from it. Same with like Red Bull. Obviously, it's similar to a coffee. I think it's 2 coffees in a Red Bull, something like that. Well, you'd think I'd get addicted to Red Bull if, let's say I don't like the taste of coffee, but I do like the taste of Red Bull. I'd have Red Bull instead of coffee, but I don't know.
Yeah.
Just never liked it.
No, that's fair enough.
Is that everything we wanted to talk about today?
Yeah, I think we've smashed that, actually, mate.
Oh, perfect. Well, if you guys enjoyed this kind of getting to know Tom, then I can't believe I brought that back.
Never say that again.
That's a shout out to the dedicated fans who've watched us from the get go.
This is true. All 10 of you, thank you so much for your support.
I'd say at least 20. Come on.
Okay, we'll be generous.
If you guys could smash that like button, that'd be massively appreciated. Helps out with all that algorithm shenanigans. If you're new around here, please do subscribe. We're actually doing really well for ourselves with subscribers, so we appreciate everyone that is joining. Obviously, a lot of them are from YouTube Shorts, so you may be subscribed and don't watch these podcasts. But if you're listening right now, check out the podcast more. We've got some more fun stuff coming up after this podcast, because obviously we've just done Prodigy C, just done India.
And Gradient Show will have been out by then as well.
Yeah, maybe 2 Gradient shows. Who knows? Who knows? I've got an apology to make in one of them, which.
That's gonna be a good one.
Do keep an eye out for that if you want to just see me kind of squirm in a chair for about 2 minutes.
I'm looking forward to it.
And yeah, so we'll see you. Actually, I don't know who our next guest is because it's so long away now.
What? You can cut this out if it's not, but Barefoot Guy potentially.
Well, I can leave that in. Maybe
no,
Barefoot Guy.
We're not going to leave it in if it's cut out. But anyway, thank you very much.
Thank you very much, guys, for watching.
Thank you. Cheers. See you later.